girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders, back again. Honestly, I think there's only one word that's going to describe today. I think that should be volatility. We will see what happens today, but we have a couple of key events on the calendar. So we'll get to those as well. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dustin. Who else we got? We got Andrew. Good morning. We got Bill, Brad, Daniel, Eric, Jenny, GW, Jake, Jay, John, Juan, Keith, Kyle, Liza, Marcia. We got Matt in the house. Good morning, Michael Davidoff. How are you? Thomas Wong is partying with us. We got Tanya, Vaughn, yes sir, Zach. You guys are piling in. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, gonna be a good day. I like that sentiment. I think it's gonna be a good day. All we can do is trade out plan, but we do think, we do know that there's going to be some key. Oh, we got Jennifer on YouTube. What is up? We got some people coming in on YouTube land. Awesome. What is happening? Yeah, we have Jerome Powell. I don't know if you guys know him at all, but he seems to impact the market a lot. That guy. He's going to be testifying today in front of Senate, in front of the Banking and Housing Committee. So we'll see what happens with that. I think he starts at 9:30, first half hour. It's going to be his prepared statement. I don't think the market probably moves too much off of that. It's not like he's creating policy or doing rate hikes or anything like that today. The key thing to Jay Poop. Matt, just change the or for everybody, just make sure you change host to panelist onto everyone. Otherwise, people just think I'm here by myself. We got Daniel on YouTube. We got Craig on YouTube. Ooh, my team is piling in. Let's go, baby. Go. So yeah, I think the sentiment or the key, and that's what might make it a little tough today for day trades, or at least provide some chop after probably 10 a.m. Eastern, so about 30 minutes after the market. The first 30 minutes, we probably are going to just get some follow through from sentiment overnight, which sentiment overnight was a little bit bearish. Like, we had a good day yesterday. We had a good, strong day in the markets. And today we are roughly opening exactly where we closed on Friday, at least to this point, or we're very close to that range. Let me just pull that up here. So we got daily chart. Yep. Pretty much at the high of yesterday's range. We do have a gap and go, technically speaking. So the one thing I will say is, I would say in sentiment probably bearish, as especially in the beginning of the day, just as we're trapping some people. Just watch out for this level though. I mean, if I was going to say at this point, let's say we started just breaking down, we were inside day, we broke down, I would say this is a decent spot. So this is just indecision. This is a decent spot for us to say, all right, that was a retest, and now we start maybe coming in and picking up again. So we'll see. But and I was going through stocks a little bit earlier. A lot of stocks are kind of in that potential support zone for a lot of things. We'll run through those. And as far as like the ranges go and things like that, but it is technically a gap and go. Bearish. I think sentiment trapped probably a lot of people. So there's that show on TV, What Would You Do? And they create some kind of situation, and then they're like, oh, you didn't do it correctly. This is the same situation, I think, in the market. If you wake up every day and place yourself into a mindset of, if I bought stocks yesterday, or if I sold stocks yesterday, what would I do this morning? Would I be panicked at all? Would I be forced to almost make some kind of move, lock some gains, close out some losses? What would I do? If I was to buy yesterday, which I think it was like a 2% day, maybe slightly over 2%. I think at one point it was like two almost 0.4% at some point. If I was to buy yesterday, and I wake up today, we already have bearish sentiment in the overall market. I was thinking, yeah, you know what? This is the bottom. This is not just a bull candle in a bear market. I would have to say, Dustin says he always panics. It's a strategy. I mean, it's a strategy for sure. I would say to me, if I was bullish and I was like, they got me again, I would probably be definitely panicking a little bit, maybe closing out. But again, we have some kind of a retest. So on the other shoe, and this is what makes it a little bit tougher at the open as far as direction goes, at least immediately, we still have 24 minutes. But if I missed that entire rally and I was sitting on my hands patient, I would be looking for somewhere around 369.50, which is pretty much where we're at now, and 366.01 to attempt to try to take advantage of the rally I missed out on yesterday. So yes, I think we have bearishness, but we might have some people interested in saying, all right, I missed it yesterday. Maybe I could even play it up to 372.36-ish, somewhere in that range, and just capture that portion of it. So we will see on the SPY. We're in an interesting spot, but it is, I would say, leaning a little bit more bearish than bullish. The other thing being said is if I was this bull down here and I was getting in at 365.57 or 369, we'll call it, how confident do I feel like we would be when we get up here? We have all of these people trying to get out for less of a loss than they might have had if we could get there. And these people know, all right, well, we retested and that level obviously didn't hold and we gapped down overnight. I'm not comfortable holding my longs. And if this does start to pop, I'm going to say that we have some kind of a heavy resistance up in this area. And we probably look for a little bit of the good old Dustin panic right in that zone. But we will see the cues itself. And we'll also pull up the trading view in a second just to get some levels on things. But cues look very similar to yesterday. Again, gap and go bearish on the cues. And we are into a little bit of potential support right now on the cues as well. Obviously, here's all the moving averages, all trending down. We are stacked perfectly bearish on a daily, still on the cues. Let me flip this to a weekly real quick, see if there's any levels on a weekly basis. What does this candle look like? Obviously, this green candle here is from yesterday, and that's going to be immediately flipped to red at open. But we do have a little bit of support probably where this candle bounced. And realistically on the cues, we just did one big indecision candle. Obviously, that's already below another key level. I got to still lean bearish a little bit longer term for sure. We'll flip this to a 3-minute to get ready for when the market opens. And then let's do a screen switch. See if we can at least get some kind of levels. Like I mentioned before, as I was going through some of these stocks, realistically, we're hitting a lot of potential support. And that was probably about 15-20 minutes ago. So we'll see if anything really changed. And again, we'll just pull up the SPY, see if we have levels on the SPY to see if we get some kind of a bounce in either direction. So pre-market, I mean, this is an hourly chart. Realistically, this is a reversal signal. I mean, that gap yesterday was really, really nice. Deserted island type setup, and we're just kind of coming down. So if we do come down, first stop I'm looking for on the SPY itself is 376.18, which I believe we already hit that. 376.18. Let me flip back on the other screen. I think we hit that pre-market, didn't we? We got very, very close to it. We didn't quite hit, but we were definitely in that range. So we already kind of hit that level pre-market and bounced. And we're in the middle of nowhere. But let's see if we get back to that spot, 367, 17-ish. If that breaks, next spot, 365.28. To the higher side of things, first stop would be about 372.20, and then stop after that. Maybe we could retest yesterday's VPOC. That would be sitting there as a untested VPOC spot. So right now, directly in the middle. If I was to take a long or short out of the gate on the SPY, I mean, I'm getting about a 1-to-1 risk reward no matter which way I go. And it's a coin flip. Out of the gate, it's a straight up coin flip. But you're not getting a real great risk reward in either direction unless you pick it correctly and then it starts to break through some of those levels. Matt says no trade is okay for you. All right. Yeah, I believe Vegas is still open though. So if you still have that itch and you want to play something, there's roulette, there's blackjack. You can get into a lot of other stuff. You know, you don't have to trade, but you can still gamble if you'd like to. Just saying. Actually, you know what I should do? I should pump some oxygen into my house, just like they do in the casinos. And this way, when the market opens, man, I don't even know what time it is. Here's another one. So AMD, to the higher side of things, if we do get a bullish bounce, we're looking for 84.13. When I say bullish bounce, that will probably be generally the spot. At this point, I'd be looking for a better opportunity for a short. If I want to go long, 82.10 would be the spot I'd like to attempt a long. These guys were the one thing with this one. So obviously this is the hourly chart. We did have a little bit of a high wave for the first hour, and and I think a lot of stocks had this, and we just kind of maintained that zone throughout the day. We didn't really have too much range breaking out. I think we were slightly below that, and we started popping back in. So watch the break of this high wave candle on AMD, wherever the top and bottom is. So somewhere like 82, 88, and the top of it is 85, 84. I mean, that could be finally we get some kind of decision, but we had indecision. We had relatively good support all day. At the end of the day, that did break. Now we're gapping down. I honestly wouldn't be surprised we start retracing and then we come down a little bit. We'll see. And that could still happen in the next 27 minutes. Maloney says I need that. I know, just pump the oxygen all day. Take all the clocks out of your house and just guess when the market opens. That's all. Or just trade crypto all day. You just trade crypto every single second of the day. We got Amazon. Amazon is, again, this one we have a little bit more risk to reward to the higher side. So see if this one, maybe we get some kind of a little retrace down to like 106.17. Again, I think the sentiment is still more bearish from yesterday. So anybody that got into that nice big long candle, they did have opportunities to sell, but they also had reason to stay in. And I think that reason is off the table at this point. So again, we have some bearishness. We might get some quick selling. Look for like 106.17. Maybe we could even get down to 105.63. Those would be good spots to attempt a long retrace, something like that. And again, I mean, the first 30 minutes of the market, we're just getting a Jerome Powell statement. After that, we get the questions that comes in. And I mean, it's almost like whatever trade you're in, just take profits a little bit quicker because they're going to be going off of his sentiment today as far as how he feels about the economy. Tesla. So Tesla is roughly at about a 50% range of yesterday's move. We are slightly below the 10 EMA. We are also slightly below the second hour of the day candle. So one big push. And I mean, again, this is a good retest spot. It did have a really nice day, actually a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. But we are right in the middle of a 50% retrace. Could we come down, maybe bounce the 698.49 zone? And then we try to bounce out higher and just retest into the 712, something like that. I think that's possible. If we start breaking down this 698 zone, then we have a good trade. At that point, we probably have back to 676. So I'm going to be watching this level very, very heavily as far as if we could actually break it or not. I'm going to add an alert there. That would be the trade. That will give us about a $25 downside, roughly. Stephen King says, my Amazon candle from yesterday doesn't look right on Thinkorswim. The low of the day yesterday doesn't look accurate. Anyone else have a low of day on Amazon as 103? So for Amazon, The low of the day. Yeah, I got on Trading View roughly 107.99. I didn't see it get down there at all yesterday. Let me see on Thinkorswim. AMZN. Are you on the daily candle, Steven? Yeah, 103. Was that pre-market at all? Yeah, even pre-market didn't get down there. I have the same 103. Yeah, I've got a big old high wave. 103. Yeah, that doesn't look right. It doesn't even look like I got there pre-market. Unless there's a is that why? Is there a random tick somewhere? No, I don't even see a random tick or nothing like that. But yeah, on the daily chart, yeah, it's showing 103. That looks like an incorrect candle on Thinkorswim. Kyle says daily chart on TradingView shows low at for TradingView has it as well. Yeah, I'm looking at on the other screen. I'm looking at the pre-market and after hours. Sometimes you'll get the random wicks, and then they kind of put it there. Yeah, I got the same thing on TradingView too. But when we look into the after hours and pre-market, I don't see that. I don't see that print at all. There's a random wick, but the low, yeah, yep, I have that same one. That's still a random wick. If that was the wick, it got down to the price, it would make sense that they were just taking it. I don't even think that's an accurate wick, but yeah, that would say that doesn't look like a correct candle at all for Amazon. The pre-market yesterday, Craig says, is 105.77. Yeah. Yeah, I have that. I don't see the price getting down there, but definitely on the daily for TradingView and definitely for the daily on Thinkorswim, it's 103.56 or somewhere in that range. All right, moving on. Apple. So Apple is at least at this point right at or slightly below. We have a VPOC from over here, 134.17. We're not quite breaking the lows of yesterday, but we are below the hourly 10 EMA. I was watching this, so we had a little bit of downtrend. That did break yesterday. At open today, we're right back in it. Again, that's going to push me a little bit more bearish than bullish. However, we did not break the lows of yesterday on Apple. So Apple will not even qualify out of the gate for 10 EMA strategy. We'll have to be patient with that one. We could give it some time for sure. NVIDIA right now, back below the 10 EMA. This one's gapping below all of yesterday's range. This will qualify for 10 EMA. And at this point, at least, we are below. This one might be decent out of the gate. We are slightly below. If this could hold for another 11 minutes, the range I'm watching is 162.23. I think if we get a breakdown, next target, or at least first target, will be 158.92. It depends on where this one opens, or even if it opens a little bit higher and then we start to break down, we should have maybe at least a $3 move. Maybe we could get back down to 2 days ago VPOC, which is 158.48. So back into that almost little double bottom zone on an hourly chart, but we have a little bit of range. That would not be a bad attempt in a short direction, just providing where this thing opens. If we start opening and holding this 162 zone, 162, we'll say 30 to the upside, I mean, I'd be looking at that 10 EMA to 164.96, and that even might change at open. And otherwise, we didn't really get a retest up here, so that would be 167.09. Honestly, I think a lot of these things are just short the rips at this point. So if they do rip, I mean, the sentiment for the day is still the same. I'm just looking for something out of the gate that looks really, really nice. And so far, I don't see anything I'm a huge fan of. Just kind of already, we're gapping into a lot of these different supports. But again, bearish would be the overall sentiment. I just want to kind of come in and just short as high as I possibly can. Airbnb is right in the middle of nothing. We looked at SPY already. Boeing. Fairly decent gap, but again, we didn't break yesterday's range at all on Boeing, and so we're still right in the middle of it. It's probably actually almost close to 618. Again, making it another decent, interesting spot for people to want to go long. Again, if I go long, if I was a trader of Boeing, if I wanted to buy Boeing as an investment, realistically, after we just moved from, I think it's 113 all the way up to 141 in a matter of a few days, that gap is not as interesting. 128.09 would be a lot more interesting to me. So I think we have some room to the downside, but just on yesterday's performance, yesterday's day, that might be an interesting spot for somebody to want to attempt to buy the thing long. So just honestly, it's a good bearish gap and go today on a lot of things. It's just, for me, we're gapping into a lot of support where I think it's almost better if we sit on our hands for a few minutes, get those random candles out of the gate, and then look to either flip them. Today might be a good day for snapback, actually. Depending on which way it opens. Zoom with some news. We got news on Zoom. Jordan wants to look at CVX. All right. So pre-market, right now, at least we're at roughly 111. Must be bad news. Is there good news anymore in this market? There is actually, but as opposed to like 2020, 2021, you could have good or bad news. As long as you had news, your stock was moving higher. Now it's kind of reversed. But yeah, this one's kind of coming down a little bit. So targets on this would be taking us to, again, we have a pivot right there. We're probably looking at this 110.65 on the lower side. We start to hit a little bit of support. Not only that, but if we were probably to take a fib from bottom to top, that's going to put us right roughly at probably about the 50% of this move. But yeah, they're down a little bit. They're below the opening range price, back below the 10 EMA. So again, bearish would be sentiment there for sure. Wayfair, I think Wayfair still has another $8 or $9 to the downside, longer term, and then it might become investable again. We will see. Kathy says Zoom goes to 1,500 in 2026. If she had credibility left, that would be an important statement from Kathy. I don't know. In 5 years again, it's like she has a 5-year plan for all her investments. CVS looks pretty weak. CVX might be a nice short. Who put this one out there? Jordan. Yeah. So right now we've been coming down. We're starting to break some key pivots. As far as volume goes, we're below all volume. This might be one of the nicest shorts today. We have a little bit of like hope and prayers down here. Some hopium that could save us some volume, but even that at this point, probably if it starts to really break down, probably this 147.54 range, we could have a nice day. I don't know how far this thing drops. I would say initial target, and maybe we can get there today if we have some decent sell-off, but 141. Otherwise, a little bit longer term, we might be looking at 135, but we're definitely seeing a little bit of finally Chevron is starting to come down a little bit. They had an extremely nice run. I don't know how comfortable I am holding any of these things overnight because obviously they're in the oil. I mean, long is fine because they pay dividends. If this is in a long-term account, it's fine. But as far as like a swing trade or something like that, if crude gets any news or something like that overnight, more war breaks out, your really good looking trade could change in a second. Day trade wise, yeah, this thing has some room to the downside. I kind of like that one. That wants me to look at Oxy. Let me look at Delta first, as it is on the list, and we did have a request for it as well. Airlines, I think, are just seeking getting a one-way ticket to the shed out back and probably getting beat with a pillowcase of nickels. All airlines are pretty much, not only are they subject to crude pricing, but they're also subject to new variants. I think Biden came out, yes, or he didn't really say. I think he just like slipped up yesterday, but he kind of slipped up and said there's more pandemics on the on the way. So I would take that for what it is. Some of you guys might take it as it's just a slip up. Other people are like, no, he just kind of accidentally said the news. We don't know, but yeah, we're not looking great. Just watch Delta at 29.54. So wherever you're getting in this thing, probably the better bet if this thing could get some kind of an increase at open, shorting around 30.14 will give you your best bet, and then probably you have some kind of stop at 30.46. So I'm going to watch that level very closely. That's going to be my spot to say, all right, let's prepare a short up there. That's going to give us best risk reward. Although at open, you're not looking horrible. Just watch out for that 29.54 zone. That could be some kind of support. After that, I mean, we could see some kind of just massive drop. We don't have a lot supporting this thing. What was the one that Matt wanted me to look at? Oxy. OXY. What do we got? 3 minutes left. So 3 more minutos. Oxy looks shortable at this point still. Target price. We haven't, we kind of retested that over here. But we have other untested spots somewhere close to like 48.68. So these guys could come down still. Wave count wise, could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be wave 5 rotation. Again, sentiment is going to be bearish. We are now gapping below a lot of stuff. See if this level right here holds up somewhere around this 55.16. If we do stay on the northern side of that, we could see retest at like 57.24ish. That would be a good spot, pushing back into that 10 EMA and then take the short and see if we could at least get back down to this same spot we are now. If not, break through it. And then the next spot would be 53.12 on Oxy, but we should have some room to the downside. You got good old Buffett in this one too. So yeah, we're at the buying price of Buffett. All right, team. So we have 2 more minutes left. You also have the 100 on the daily. Yeah, I mean, you got Buffett. You got a lot of reasons to want to hold this thing. Honestly, the dividends are not great yet on Oxy, but we fully retested the Buffett buy, which is interesting. So we will see. But again, if this thing starts coming down, not every trade for Buffett works immediately. Just keep in mind. I mean, I remember him buying Wells Fargo during the 2008 crash, and I think it dropped a decent amount and people were freaking out. But he's Buffett, so he's buying more, holding, and eventually that would turn out to be a great play as well. So definitely take it for what it is. I think this thing has moved a lot. To me, we've broken some big uptrends already. Seeing some kind of further pullback, $48, somewhere in that range. $46 would make it a little bit more appetizing, honestly, for me. But I own none of this, for full disclosure, right now. Yesterday, so I can get Slack access. Yeah, let me copy your email. I'll get you up in a second. But for right now, we do have the market opening. So everybody in YouTube land, I gotta bid you adieu, and I will catch all of you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Let me get my screen shared over to the Thinkorswim.